The Supreme Court is quiet right now, but it was center stage earlier today for some spirited debate and rallies. Supporters know there are challenges that lie ahead, but they believe this nominee is uniquely positioned for the job.
The Washington Commanders are not saying much tonight. At least they are not saying much that's new. When WUSA 9 reached out to the team for reaction or comment to these latest allegations, the franchise pointed us to a now nearly 2-week-old statement it originally issued amid those reports that the House...
My son's name is Antoine Michael Rose II.
My sister's name is Tatiana Jefferson.
Our little brother is Michael Lorenzo Dean.
Ronald Green. Jamil Roberson.
They're mothers, sisters, and loved ones, and they're all members of a club they never wanted to join. Someone they love has died at the hands of a police officer. The executive order signed by President Biden on the anniversary of the murder of George Floyd brought these families to the nation's capital. Michelle Kinney's son, Antoine, was in a car that was allegedly involved in a police shooting. The investigation revealed he had nothing to do with the shooting. He was shot in the back 3 times.
As an individual, I feel like there's so much more that should be and could be done. But as Antoine's mom, I am grateful that at least something is finally being done.
Wednesday is all about being heard for Mona Hardin.
The fact that all our families have to come here and continue to beg to be seen and heard with no response is shameful.
Her son, Ronald Green, died in police custody in Louisiana. His family was told a car accident killed him, but it was later revealed he was brutally beaten by state troopers. Mona says he was chained at the ankle. Today, she's happy for progress.
I'm elated. I'm excited. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Sisters Deshandra and Toshina are torn. Their brother was shot and killed during a traffic stop. He was pulling his keys out of the ignition, they said. His death was ruled accidental.
I don't know if we could ever be satisfied unless these bills and things that they make would actually implement changes that would happen immediately.
They need to do changes from the beginning, not after the fact. They need to instill some things into each police department on prevention or de-escalation.
A wellness check led to the death of Tatiana Jefferson. She was shot in her home by a former Fort Worth police officer through a window. Her sister Ashley Carr hopes the signing of the executive order will bring about more change.
I'm ecstatic that the federal level is seeing this as a problem and want to, address it. I'm hoping that this encourage state level and local level to put this in practice as well.
Just doing his job. That's how Jamil Roberson died. He was working security at a bar when a shooting happened. His family says he even stopped one of the shooters from taking off. But when police arrived, they shot him instead. Tarsha Williams says the signing of this order is about moving forward.
It's faith. It's hope. Hoping for something to come.
I'm just sewing down this like 1/4 of an inch.
Emily Hearing has loved sewing since she was 17.
It's like a dance. You and the machine are dancing together. It's a much more delicate art than what you would think it is.
But this seamstress isn't just making blue jeans. She's actually working on something a bit more out of this world.
It's really cool to tell people that I get to work on spacesuits.
Yeah, she works for a company that makes NASA's spacesuits, one stitch at a time.
Actually, it's really cool.
The company is called ILC Dover and has been making NASA suits for more than 50 years. And no doubt the stakes are pretty high.
If something happens out in an atmosphere that's uncontrolled, you're talking about an astronaut's life.
Helmet on and locked.
That's why they test.
Not a lot of scratching your nose in a spacesuit.
Luke Marshall is putting on the suit to make sure that this suit is space ready.
Go ahead and do the handrail grabs.
Today he's being led by engineer Peter Vanderklay, who says they test routine motions hundreds of times to make sure that the suit can hold up in space.
There's a lot of wearing and tearing that happens, and we want to make sure that the materials can survive the length of the suit or glove life.
And this testing is hard work because all of this gear put together is about 300 pounds. And unlike the astronauts, we have to deal with gravity.
Like a big heavy metal coat
With the helmet now off, Luke told us why this work matters to him.
You think about it every day, you're like, I have to get these reps because you don't want that going up if it's not safe.
I was 13 when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon.
Bill Airy is the quality manager and the company's historian.
There were times where I'd literally fall asleep in the suit.
He's also spent hundreds of hours testing suits.
With that helmet on, you can't hear anything, so it's like being in a big bubble.
Bill says the company's suits have been used in more than 250 space flights, including 6 moon landings.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
If you think about it, there's that famous picture of Buzz Aldrin on the moon, right? And it's such a famous picture, and yet it was built right here, and that outer layer that you see, that whole part of that suit was built right here in Frederica, Delaware.
A small-town company with an extraterrestrial reach, with their walls now filled with letters from thankful astronauts.
Here's a good one here. This is Jim Lovell. To the gals of Frederica, thank you for sewing straight and careful. I would hate to have a tear in my pants on the moon.
And so the dance continues, as suits are being made for the next generation of space travel. Reporting in Frederica, I'm Evan Kozloff, WUSA 9.